Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Breakfast Bankroll for Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. Our weekly spot with Julian Edlow from DraftKings and DraftKings Sportsbook. A spot that I absolutely love. It allows us to talk local sports, Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, Patriots, and then it allows us to talk the sports market through the eyes of Julian and the DraftKings Sportsbook itself. Shout out to our new sponsor and partnership with WagerWire. If you have not downloaded this app, please go to Google Play and wherever you download the apps. Download it. It's for free. Start to get used to it. We'll be doing a lot of editorials, tutorials. We'll be getting a lot of turning wagers into assets and profit as we are able to eventually sell them before the maturity. Shout out to the gentleman behind the glass, Joe Shea, Evan Lewis, Olu, Cade Horton, and Bennett. You guys are amazing. But let's bring the star of this show on, the one and only, Mr. Julian Edlow.
Good morning, Jeff. How we doing?
I am warming up. I'm on my third cup of coffee. We talked backstage. A little cold this morning in Boston.
I know. I got a basement office going on over here, and it's the only room in the house without heat. Because you don't want to know the number that tacked on to this addition. Would have been a bankroll killer. So I got the little fireplace behind me. I almost turned it on this morning. I didn't.
That's the first thing that I do in the morning. I run to the living room and turn on that fireplace, at least to try to warm the house. We did make it to November 1st. It is 2nd, but when the wife comes home from work today, I'm going to have her officially turn on the heat. So speaking of heat, I know we're early in the year and we're not here to raise, how many points we can win by, or in the Bruins case, presidential cups for the best regular season. But holy cow, hats off to the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, they look really good. The net rating of the starting five, and I know maybe there's bench issues, although if you watch the fourth quarter of that game last night, which I did watch it all the way through, I know it's bench on bench, but like some of those guys looked good. They looked comfortable. They were playing hard, which I liked. And I think down the road, some pieces will become available that they can potentially add. A Danny Green that just got let go in part of the Harden deal in Philly. But when it comes to the starting five, their net rating is like absurdly better than Denver, Golden State, whoever. So I give consistent Celtics takes on this show every year. It doesn't change from me all year what I say, and I'm going to say it again. If that starting five, top six with Horford is healthy in the postseason, they're probably going to win the finals. Milwaukee we'll see if they can figure out their moves. It's not gelling like it is in Boston. They rank dead last in defensive efficiency in the NBA right now. Lose Holiday, that's a piece of that. So the way that five plays, they're going to be a very tough out if they remain healthy. So last season, early in the year, Celtics first half team total overs were a thing, particularly at home. They landed 75 last night. They scored more in the second half. So the cat might be out of the bag when you play as well as you just did against the Wizards and the Pacers. But let's see how that looks. I think they're in Brooklyn on Saturday night. They're going on a little road trip here, but see how those team totals look moving forward.
Jules, I want to take you back a bazillion years ago, not that many, of course. Paul Pierce, the addition of Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett, the one of the true first official big threes. You could see right away this team was special. I don't know if it was the intensity that Garnett brought, or of course the sniper or the pure shooting of Ray Allen, with the addition of Paul Pierce finally saying, geez, I don't have to take this all on myself. We go back to last couple years with the Celtics getting right there and falling short. Now we get rid of Brogdon. We get rid of Smart. We get rid of Grant Williams. You bring in Holiday. You bring in the unicorn himself. Is it just one piece? Is it both pieces? What has impressed you the most so far about the Celtics?
I guess that they've gelled so immediately. But the players, we know that they're going to play. We kind of knew that they were going to play that well. One of the things I'll say has impressed me, and I gave him a lot of crap last year, is Joe Mazzulla. Not that the coach is going to come down to winning and losing when you have that kind of talent, but he was very stubborn last year, made some pretty heavily criticized decisions. And I like the way he's coaching right now. I like the way he's running his rotations. I like the way he's letting the players go. But when he would let the players go last year, as he said himself, he didn't have them prepared for the situations that he wasn't calling timeouts for, and they would run into mistakes. So he has them prepared this time around. And that's pretty clear in the box scores. So Mazzulla has impressed me a lot, I think.
You know, it's funny because I talked about listening to Mazzulla in the offseason. I talked about the listening to Tatum in some of his pressers, the maturity. It looks like he's really taking the next step. We talked about Mazzulla bringing some of the players from the past, whether it's a Paul Pierce and some of the others that have come back during practices to be a part, trying to bring the word he uses is culture back. And really, I talk about all the time when I was growing up in the Bird era, you bled green. When you walked onto the parquet, the first thing you did was you looked up to those banners. But today's society, the game has changed. But you can almost feel it. Mazzulla's not looking over his shoulder. They've brought in some veteran assistant coaches and other people to kind of help him through this process. You can feel it all around, Jules.
Yeah, it feels like time for this team. They seem a little more professional. They seem to know what the ultimate goal is and how to work towards that. Tatum specifically is polished and built up to, not just try and make first team all NBA and get individual accolades. He's kind of, advanced beyond his years with the type of games that he's played in this early in his career. So yeah, it seems like they're very well stabilized. The only question is that that depth. If somebody goes down for an extended period of time, they need that starting five in the postseason.
Let's flip over to Gillette, where last week when we talked, we were a little high on the horse. A great upset win, the Pats and the Bills. They travel to South Beach. Still no answer for Tyreek Hill. Big game this Sunday for the Pats at home, 3.5-point favorites against the Commanders, and then they got to travel to Frankfurt and take on the Colts. The schedule sets up real nice for them. A couple weeks back when the Saints were coming into town, I thought that might have been the stepping point, and I think the Saints won 31-0 or something. What's your feel on what's going on in Foxborough? No moves at the trade deadline. They stayed pat. And what do you see going on there this Sunday against the Commanders?
Yeah, they did what I expected on Sunday, a double-digit loss in Miami, and they did what I expected at the trade deadline because the general manager, Bill Belichick, wants the coach, Bill Belichick, to get wins. So I kind of compared it to, I don't know if anybody listening has seen the movie Horrible Bosses. It's a funny movie. When Kevin Spacey hints at this promotion to Jason Bateman for months and then has a big meeting and promotes himself and knocks down the wall, gives himself 2 offices, says that he's going to be a team player and only take like 80% of the salary. Bill runs the show. His GM moves are working towards himself at this point in his coaching moves, so he's not going to sell. Thank goodness he didn't buy. But I don't hate the spot this week against Washington. Can't play it at 3.5. 3 would be the furthest. I'm going to lay off because I just don't trust this team. But you see Washington selling off guys like Chase Young. Sam Howell might get sacked. Might break David Carr's single-season sack record in terms of amount of times he's been sacked. It's a good home winnable spot off a loss for the Patriots before they go for an international game. So I would lean Patriots this week, but my overall opinion on them has not really changed.
The locals 98.5 Felger and Mass, kind of comical, especially yesterday. The talks, the hint that the Commanders, as you said, sold off Sweat. They sold off Chase Young. The word on the street is the last year for Ron Rivera, as he's a defensive head coach, yet they're selling the defensive head coach pieces off. And we've kind of turned to more of an offensive league led by the QBs. 3rd round pick for Bill Belichick, potentially. And again, all rumors, all speculations, of course. Josh McDaniels, who I said to Vegas, don't do it. Of course they do it. He's gone. Give me your thought process. Do you want Josh back? And any chance that you think Bill could be tiptoeing to the NFC East next year with the it sounds like Mayo's in place and some other guys are in place for the Patriots moving forward.
No, I don't think Bill's going anywhere else next year. No, I don't think McDaniels is coming back to the Patriots. The way Bill's been making his hires, he'd probably hire McDaniels as the defensive coordinator and give him a little challenge on the other side of the ball. Not much for me there. Josh McDaniels can't handle head coaching. He's an offensive coordinator, and I don't even know how good of an offensive coordinator he is because it didn't go so well at other stops. He kind of just benefited from Brady. So he's the first head coach in NFL history to be fired twice within 2 years of being hired. So nobody tanks an organization faster than Josh McDaniels at the controls. Not interested.
College football. My baby. Something, on Monday, by the way, we start college basketball. Wait till next Thursday, Jules, when we're picking your brain about college basketball. College football, the first official top 4 was released. If my memory serves me correct, Ohio State sits atop. With them, would it go? Did it go Georgia, Michigan, or Michigan, Georgia, then Florida State?
Georgia, Michigan, I believe. But to be honest, I'm not sure because I didn't even pay attention to it because they put these college football playoff rankings out. The market didn't move. And we know based on this is what teams have done so far, based on the schedule ahead, we know this is all going to change.
1000%. So that was my next question. Futures in hand, in pocket, with the first top four. Nothing changed in your portfolio as we speak.
Nope. Michigan's got to beat Penn State and Ohio State, and they'd be, probably number one and in. We'll see how Saturday night goes in Tuscaloosa with LSU and Alabama, but we could be on track for, a 12-0 Georgia against an 11-1 Bama. Texas really needs to win this week against K-State to have to keep it alive. FSU is, probably the most sure bet to get in because they're going to have the easiest path to get to 13-0. I don't know how they'll do in there, but they should get there. And then Oregon in the Pac-12. I think Oregon's got a nice road to 11-1, and they would be favored over Washington in a rematch in the Pac-12 title game. I love that revenge spot for revenge narrative for Oregon for that spot. So it would be a good team, good year for the first time to have more teams in 8, 12, but we're going to do the 4 this year, and there are going to be 1, 2, 3 left out that are pretty unhappy about it.
Yes, I've been on that Oregon bin. I had Washington in August. We had them to win the Pac-12 to sneak into the Final Four and shock the world. But I was watching that game like you, and I know from the eye test and what's just going on, Oregon's the best team currently in the Pac-12. Bo Nix, defense, offense. And I think Washington, especially the last 2 weeks, kind of playing with their food. And this is a good lead. And I've already penciled them losing in a couple of weeks at Oregon State. But that number smells this week. A USC team that has just been butt ugly of late. 50-49 win against Cal last week. Only 3.5-point dogs at home. Over at 76. Smells to me, Jules. What are you seeing in that game?
Yeah, I initially laid 3 with Washington. I bought it back with some 3.5 USC. I don't want to side. I lean Washington. USC, kind of in the sense of Clemson, could just come undone because it's not going to be their year and they're not going anywhere. But home dog, that's tough to pass up on right there. I wish the number didn't move so much. I was able to play over 71.5 on the open. It's now up like 5 points. I still like it. I'm still probably going to give it out, just like I gave out the USC Colorado at a bad number on the over. Last week I gave out the Oregon Utah down a few points on the under. Same with Ohio State, Penn State. These totals that move like 3, 4, 5 points have still been doing very well at the closing number. So I just think we're going to see points. The USC defense is trash. Washington offense very good. Washington defense lately has been getting gashed. They just gave up 30-something to Stanford. And Caleb Williams and that offense at home, they'll put up points. They just put up the 50 on Cal. So there's no reason both teams should be in the 40s, and whoever has the ball last probably wins.
I'm going to go back to Tuscaloosa, Jules. I think 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, on our second alert, we gave out Alabama plus 2,000. It was when they were playing Arkansas. I had the good first half, and we gave out a second alert, and we gave them out on DraftKings Sportsbook plus 2,000. I struggled in that second half, but have put together a couple more wins leading up to LSU this week. A couple things popped. A lot of money and a market move on the quarterback, Jaden Daniels of LSU. Big drop on him as I think the second or third now favorite in the Heisman. And this number of only 3.5. Bama's defense has been playing great of late. Offensively, they're not clicking. What's your thoughts on this game, number one? Number two, does Alabama have enough firepower to keep up with LSU here?
They do for a couple of matchup reasons. And that matchup is that the LSU defense sucks. It's really bad. they're down their 2 starting corners in this game. Milroe's strength is his deep ball. Alabama's going to rip off some big plays in this game. I do think they're going to win it. It's a really short number. I have a whole web going on with this game of LSU to win the SEC plus 600 preseason. If they win this game, they would have a good shot to get in there against Georgia. I took LSU plus 7.5 in this game on the look-ahead line preseason. And I have Alabama minus 165 to miss the college football playoff preseason, which I felt good about early. Now, let's see. What do I think is going to happen in this game? I think Alabama is going to win. So I'm going to go against all my preseason bets and kind of hedge here with a lot of Alabama in this game. Now, if you wipe the slate clean and pretend you don't have anything in pocket like me, and you want to bet this game, my best bet in this game is Alabama team total over 31.5. If LSU wins, it's going to be super high scoring. If Alabama wins, they're going to put a bunch of points up on them. I just don't see, if I'm isolating one thing in this game, I don't see how Alabama's not getting their points against that LSU defense at home. Revenge spot after the 1-point overtime loss last year. That's the thing that I'm most confident in. Alabama scoring. Can LSU win the game? Sure, but it's going to be, 40-37, 43-40, something like that.
If big if, of course, if LSU was to take these guys down and get into the SEC finals and upset a Georgia team who now would have one loss, that could be huge for the Big 12. It could be huge for the Pac-12. It could be huge for the Big 10. We know no two-loss teams ever got in, but a Georgia one-loss, no SEC championship. Can you ever imagine the potential of an SEC list Final Four?
I don't think it's going to happen. It just maybe this is the a square answer, but it just feels like the SEC has to have one of the top 4 teams in college football. So a 12-1 Georgia team with a loss to Alabama or LSU wouldn't get in, or it could be a 12-1 Alabama team with a win over Georgia that would put them above Georgia, and then Alabama gets in and Georgia gets out. So I'd be stunned if the SEC doesn't have a team in there. But they're also not getting 2. It's going to be
the shocker. The way we played it out in our eyes is Alabama cheats and they beat an undefeated Georgia team, and Alabama's in, and Georgia could be outside looking in. But my point is, this is a huge game for the SEC because you kind of don't want LSU winning this game unless you assume Georgia's going to beat LSU. Because I'll ask you this question, Jules. Let's play the game. Let's say LSU was to beat Bama. LSU goes on to beat Georgia in the SEC final. So you got a 1-loss Georgia team, a 2-loss SEC championship LSU team, or a 1-loss Pac-12 Oregon team. Who's going?
So lay out my choices again. It's 1-loss Pac-12 Oregon.
1-loss Georgia, no championship, or a 2-loss LSU team with the championship.
So it's very close between Georgia and Oregon. I would lean Oregon, but now you're trying to get me to say that no SEC team gets in, right?
Well, that's the thing. And I know we're talking usually just 2 SEC teams get in. And in the perfect scenario, it's Alabama, Georgia. Whoever wins that gets in because...
Yeah. So I'll put it this way. I think that a 12-0 Michigan or Ohio State is in. I think a 12-0 FSU is in, even though I think they might be the worst team of, they might be not a top 4 team in terms of how good they are. A 12-1 Oregon gets in, and a 12-1 SEC team gets in, and the Big 12 sits there not happy.
Go into the SEC next year.
Yep. Go prove it in the SEC if you want to get in.
Anything in your pocket for what your eyes are seeing for college this week, Jules?
I haven't bet much in college. Like I said, that original total, it looks like it's 76.5. So 71.5 is looking good. I'll probably still give it out as a smaller play on that over. Alabama team total over 31.5 is probably my favorite play. And then I think I've done a good job this season of playing some home dogs like Florida over Tennessee. What else? Like Pitt when they were gross over Louisville. Duke over Notre Dame, which had a great chance and was one of the bad beats of the season. Win or lose, I think that I've done okay identifying those spots. All this to say, I understand the appeal of betting a home dog that doesn't look like they have any life. I'm going to lay 3 with Notre Dame at Clemson this week and ride with the public against that sharp home dog side. I had some people telling me that some sharp people telling me that I'm wrong for this, and it's Clemson this week. I don't know, man. 4-4. Dabo's taken 11 minutes on air to go back and forth with fan callers into a radio show, questioning his job. It seems like they're really falling apart there, and sometimes you just have to go with an eye test and say, I understand the market, but I don't think that this Clemson team is going to be able to do it. So Notre Dame has a huge advantage up front, running the ball. That's where they can get Clemson. Shipley, most dynamic offensive player for Clemson, is concussed. He may not play in this game. That takes away a lot from a team that already struggles to move the ball. So Clemson's been good as a home dog over the years. They weren't good this year. They blew it against FSU the only time they were priced as a home dog. Notre Dame's had some trouble on the road, but let's look at the opponent. NC State plus 10 was a play for me last week, one of those home dogs against Clemson. They won outright. Notre Dame went to NC State early in the year and smoked them. For me, I'm going to ride with the public on this one and lay the 3 with Notre Dame.
I was on the Clemson versus Florida State. I can remember like it was yesterday.
I had Clemson there as well.
I mean, we had the strip sack and then, of course, the missed field goal chippy to win the game as well. So got a handful of minutes left, Jules. Switch over to the NFL. We talked about the Patriots. What's catching your eye this Sunday in the NFL?
2 NFL plays. I've gone against Miami when they went to Buffalo. I've gone against Miami when they went to Philly. Both double-digit losses. This is a neutral site Germany game, but you got the Chiefs coming off a loss. This line's going down. Miami doesn't fare well with elite teams, and I think Kansas City's elite, particularly on defense, which I think they're going to get a good pass rush on Tua. So give me Chiefs money line in the AM, a nice little breakfast bet. And then I'm going to wait all day and go to Sunday night and go Bengals money line against the Bills. I like the matchup for them. I get maybe, eventually the market's going to be mispriced and you got to come back with the Bills, who are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Meanwhile, after the slow start, Bengals have won 4 of 5. But I just think matchup wise, this one is a good play, good spot for Cincy.
And NBA, I know you love the NBA, season ticket holder to the Celtics, where I am right now behind us at the TD Garden. Give me the Julian Edlow eye test. We talked about the Celtics, what you're seeing in the rest of the East, out west, and maybe a couple headliners for either today or this weekend.
Yeah, not too many overall takes on like the landscape of the NBA in terms of any teams sticking out that are better, much better or worse than we thought. Been playing a lot of props. Victor Wembanyama's gone over his turnover prop in every game of his NBA career. And it's already up from 1.5 to 3.5. He's still been going over them. Oscar Thompson, the Pistons twin, the top 5 pick, went over his rebounding prop every game until last night. It opened 5.5 to start the season. Last night it was all the way to 9.5 and stayed under for the first time. So paying attention to more of those, I guess, and what's been going on with the player prop market. I don't like much tonight in the NBA. It's probably going to be a pass for me on NBA tonight, but there'll be plenty on Friday.
The scroller's been going the whole time, obviously, Julian. Everyone knows where to find you on Twitter, X, whatever we want to call that today, at Julian Edlow. Of course, you can find all your work at DraftKings at DK Sportsbook, your podcasts on the Unreasonable Odds. But what we like to do, how we end the show, is to see what you have in the sports book, maybe some promos, some boosts. The World Series over now, so we're down to 3 major sports. College basketball starts on Monday. And of course, I want you to give your plug for the weekend on the Sweat. I love watching it. I am a watcher on Saturday and Sunday as well, Jules.
Yeah, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday. The Sweat, getting you through those weekend betting boards. It's on VSiN, it's on Roku, it's on Samsung TV. You can find it on Twitter, YouTube TV. Just, you'll find it. So you can give that a watch. What we got on the sportsbook, 50% profit boost for whatever you want to use it on for Thursday night football, Titans Steelers. It looks like we have 100% profit boost on any NBA same game parlay tonight. So I don't like much NBA tonight, but if you can find a couple things in one of those games you like, you might as well boost it 100%. Same thing going on for hockey. If you're a hockey bettor, 100% same game parlay boost. There is a 50% profit boost for the Bama LSU game. So if you like Alabama, you want to get rid of the points, you can take them on the money line. That's going to be around even money with that boost. Or just use it on the team total, get plus money there. Let's see. That looks like it for right now, but obviously we'll have some stuff up for Sunday.
Can't thank you enough, my friend. I want you to go and enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend. We will circle back the wagons with you next week. How's that, sir?
All right. Sounds good, Jeff. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Julian. The one and only Julian Edlow. Please go follow him at Julian Edlow. You can find all his work at DK Sportsbook, at DraftKings. Go check out his podcast at Unreasonable Odd Podcast. And again, Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on VSiN, Roku, Samsung, yada, yada, yada. 1 o'clock, I will be a guest with Andrew McGinnis at Wager Talk at McGinnis Picks, talking some hockey, CFL, and whatever else he suggests. And then at 3 o'clock as well, I will be a guest with good friend Pop DiBiase at Prime Wave Media, talking some college football and whatever else he would like to talk. There will be no closing bell this evening, but myself and Riley will be back at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow for the Breakfast Bankroll. We're going to do our regular morning show plus the Big Ten preview. So a lot of stuff going on. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Tis the season, November 2nd. On Monday, we tip off with the college baskets to add to the NHL, NBA, and NFL and NCAF, of course. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. 11-0 on the road. Amazing playoff run. Congrats to Corey Seager, World Series MVP. And Diamondbacks, lift your heads up. No shame in your game. NL champs. Congrats. It was a great, great run. And to the ECSI VIPs, I know a handful of you cashed some good tickets on the World Series, some AL and NL tickets as well. So it's been a good year so far for ECSI. We got 2 months to make it an epic year. So for myself, Jeff Dawson, ADC Sports and Best, I thank every one of you guys. Have an amazing morning, and we'll catch you soon.